and welcome to Valentin Consulting's guest speaker series. So excited to be here today. I am Dr. Daisy Valentin, CEO of Valentin Consulting, and I'm thrilled to invite you to our dynamic YouTube channel where we host our exclusive, as you heard, guest speaker series. And our channel is dedicated to providing high quality insights and discussions around accounting, business services, and coaching, offering valuable content for entrepreneurs, professionals, and organizations looking to thrive in today's competitive landscape. Now, the purpose of this guest speaker series is to collaborate with thought leaders like the wonderful leader we have today and industry experts, giving them a platform to share their knowledge and expertise with our engaged community. So if you're locally, nationally, or globally, this may pertain to you, but keep in mind that each one of our professionals could be based in a specific state or a specific area of the country. So thank you so much. And let's welcome our wonderful guest speaker here, Dr. Paul Jilani. I'm so happy to have you today. And I want you to tell everybody a little bit about you and what you're here to talk about with us today.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Daisy. My name is Dr. Paul Jilani, and I'm here to share with you a very interesting and wonderful journey, which I followed to be part of this community here in the United States. But before I proceed to this journey or this story of mine, I would just want to give you a little bit about myself. I am a professor in the university. I also do consulting work in supply chain, and I also do a lot of stuff on the migration pathway to the United States. And more specifically here is the employment-based process, which I did follow myself to be able to get here legally and be able also to work here without any problems when it comes to the migration process. So I'm here, apart from the academic side and the consulting side, I'm here to discuss or give you an insight of how employment-based immigration process, which is known as EB-2 and EB-1A and a W, which means National Interest Waiver, can be of great support in making sure that you are here in the United States legally and pursuing life without any problems. And this one is not only to those who are in the United States, but also it covers for people who are also abroad. Mm-hmm. You can be able to use this process to get your journey fulfilled, even if you are internationally or you're out of the United States.
This is so amazing. Now, what inspired you to focus your work on, most of your work right now on employment-based immigration, specifically EB-2? I know you went through the process, but what made you want to focus on it to help others?
Well, the immigration process here it's not easy to those ones who have gone through it, including myself. So what inspired me basically here is myself, because I had all the credentials to be able to work and live here comfortable without any problems, and plus other people who have the same credentials like myself. Mm-hmm. So this one pushed me to pursue this process because many people, including myself, struggle or have struggled to stay in the United States legally. So this platform is for the highly skilled individuals who can bring their expertise and industry knowledge, innovations and resilience and leadership skills in the mm-hmm. United States. I see migration not just a personal opportunity, but as a way to align global talent in the United States. Because once you come here and you are professionally, you have all the skills or the good skills, you have the innovation skills, you can bring value to the United States. And these are priority matters here in the United States. So personally, I'm a supply chain expert, and this is a key area which is needed in the United
In the
States.
US, especially now.
Yeah, especially now. You have healthcare people, you have teachers, you have lawyers, people who are good in IT, especially in artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
These are professionals, and many others. These are professionals who can bring a lot of value economically and socially to the United States. And these are the people who inspire me to be part of their journey, because I went through this process and here I am.
Now, can I ask you a question? Like, for the audience out there, what does the EB-2 mean? Like, we know it stands for Advanced Degree National Interest Waiver, but what exactly does that mean? Because a lot of people come here from their country, and I want you to kind of like explain what that is and what, how do you see that EB-2 helping professionals contribute, kind of like you said it briefly, but contribute to the US economy and society. So we really want to kind of like give them an understanding what that is, because a lot of them come here and they have this and they don't know that they can get this.
Well, EB-2, this means employment-based immigration sector preference category. And
but where does the advanced degree come into? Because that plays a big part of it as well.
Yes, and this one is in two parts. You can apply, you can go through this process as an advanced degree professional, or you can apply through the exceptional ability process. When I was doing this process myself, you could have applied the two of them at the same time, so that the one you qualify, you go ahead and being approved for EB-2 NAW. But now, since this current administration came in, you can only apply one category, either advanced degree professional or an exceptional ability professional. So for the advanced degree is for those who have master's degrees. And if you have an undergraduate degree, then you need to have over 5 years progressive experience in your area of specialization. And then here we have the exceptional ability category, where you must provide documentation, which, including your degree or advanced degree which you have, you need to show at least you qualify at least for three of the criteria. One being the academic requirement, letters from your former or your current employers, having a license, you being licensed, or having certifications in your area of specialization, being a member of a professional association, and other recognitions. So at least 3 of them, if you qualify for the 3 of them, you can be able to undertake this process. So first of all, what is important here is you need to have the advanced degree, and also progressive work experience. And the review of this process is giving applicants an opportunity to also leverage on their experience, on their work experience, including their academic achievements, which in most cases, I prefer someone who has an advanced degree and above, and the progressive experience which I've spoken about.
Well, that's great, because a lot of people that I've come across have come over to this country and they have, an advanced degree and didn't realize that they could, apply for something like this, and this would benefit them, because that way, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, for someone just exploring immigration options, and exploring this and knowing that they had an advanced degree, that they can offer this opens up opportunities for them to have work in their field, correct?
Exactly.
So that's one of the things I wanted you kind of to like touch on, because a lot of these applicants are not aware of this. Like, they have master's degrees, they are educated, and they are, they have, so they come here to this country and they're just getting whatever job in a warehouse or hotel or cleaning or something like that. But if they have an advanced degree, and they can work with a professional like yourself to understand how the process works, then they could be able to still work in their still profession coming from their country.
Absolutely, because these are some of the migration processes which most of experts don't have an idea about. But what is critical here is once you have advanced degree, your work experience, and also for those who have chosen to be entrepreneurs in the United States, you can still use that process. So long as you meet those primary specific requirements, then you can be able to apply through these processes, the EB-2 NAW. And what is critical here is the problem is not having those credentials. The problem is how do you give your story?
That's what I was just going to ask you.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you that because, you know, what are some success stories you've seen with applicants that overcome challenges in the process? That's what the question I was just going to ask you, because it's about telling your story so it can be legitimate for them to be able to provide you the visa for your advanced degree, correct?
Exactly. So here is what is important is you might have all those credentials, an advanced degree, work experience, but how do you give out that story? How do you explain that story to be, to give a true picture of how you have undertaken that journey? Because here in the United States, you have to give the raw story the way it is. You have to be truthful. So what is important, you have your credentials, but how you build that story and how that story of yours or your profession can bring value to the United States.
So that would be your first recommendation, right? The first step recommendation to kind of know, okay, you're exploring your immigration options. If you have an advanced degree, make sure that your story aligns with what you're presenting.
Exactly.
Basically.
Your story, you need to have your expertise or your area of professionalism. Then it needs to align with what you're supposed to provide in terms of evidence, in terms of how you have grown, in terms of certifications. And at the end of the day is what value will your skills or your story bring to the United States. And this one is
how you're helping the economy. How are you going to help it? How you're helping our U.S. economy and our society. So,
exactly.
What you're mentioning is like, what advice would you provide to entrepreneurs or self-employed professionals considering this pathway? Because you do have people that have advanced degrees, but then you also have entrepreneurs and self-employed professionals that may not necessarily have degrees, but have, the professionalism or have a business in their country and they want to kind of explore here. How would that be the same situation?
Yeah, for entrepreneurs, the key issue to demonstrate here will be you demonstrate the vision and measurable impact of the company you have. You do not need to get a traditional employer to prove your value. Your company, your research or initiatives can be evidence. All right. And then document how your work creates jobs in the United States.
Awesome.
Yeah. Document how your work or your company solves industry challenges. All right. And then apart from all this, how does your company or the job which you have started or the company which you have started, how does it bring in innovations?
Yeah.
And because the United States is all about a country of innovation. That's why it is rich where it is. So self-employed professionals should also emphasize partnerships, for example. How do you partner with other organizations? Like, for example, how do you partner with FEMA to be able to solve the problem of disasters in the United States? All right. How can you be able to? How do you publish information on what you do?
And how you're assisting the economy and the community, things like that.
Yeah, and also maybe to be, before I forget is, do you engage yourself? Okay, you have started a company, but do you engage with the community through speaking to the community on how your work provides value to the society, also to the United States? All these engagements validate your leadership as an entrepreneur.
That's really good.
Using this evidence, then you can build a story which can resonate with of what it brings to the United States.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So by us talking a little bit about that, so that's why we're collaborating, because Dr. Paul does has his like consulting firm, like he was talking about, and we partnership together to help each other with different types of businesses, right? So just to give people like a context to that, what you're talking about when it comes to partnerships in the community or with organizations or nonprofit organizations, or how you're helping build jobs, or how you're helping society or the economy build on itself based on what you're bringing. Now, how do policy updates and government priorities are shaping this new process now? I think that's something that a lot of people are concerned about, because there's so much happening right now with the new, new administration. So how has that changed some of the work that you've helped do?
Well, policy updates matter because they shift what adjudicators look for. And that's exactly what I have managed to see, the surprises which have come up with the many policies which have changed. Petitions or applications which were done before in the previous administration, most of them, they have been declared null and void now, because you'll find that executive orders which were signed in the previous administration, they have either been cancelled this time, or they have been superseded by other executive policies. So, for example, now the current emphasis of this current administration is AI, artificial intelligence. Yeah, issues related to resilience, matters related to healthcare and national security. So you'll find that applicants in these fields may have a clearer path to demonstrate the national interests of the United States. I'm not saying that only applicants who are experts in these areas are the ones who are able to apply and get approved. But what I'm saying is, at least the work you are doing, how related or how beneficial can it bring to the national interest of the current administration?
Because that brings more value into the country versus, someone not having, this type of experience or knowledge or education.
Yes. So if your petition or the work you are doing aligns with these policies which have been introduced, then you make a stronger case by showing how your contribution directly addresses those needs. You see, so if like probably whatever you are doing, your work, how does it help the policies of this current administration?
Absolutely.
And I know in most of the jobs which we do, either as entrepreneurs or as experts in the field, in one way or the other, they help the administration which is in power. The only thing which we need to do is, how do we align that? And that's why we need experts like myself and other experts who assist in doing this type of work, in assisting fellow professionals to get approval and being admitted in this country using the correct legal channels.
Now, how long does this process typically take for each category? Is it depending on the person, depending on on the government policy? What would be typically how long does it take for the policy? What does it cost to do this? I know many people try to go to attorneys, but is it necessary to go to an attorney? Is it you can go to an attorney, you can go to a professional like yourself? Like, can you give us a little insight? I know I threw like a couple questions in there, but
Yeah. First of all, what I need to tell the audience is you can self-petition yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you don't need these two categories, EB-1 and EB-2. You don't need to you don't need an employer, first of all, to be able to
Mm-hmm.
apply it. You can self-petition yourself. You can still now this is a technical work for you to build that petition from and make it a story. It
Mm-hmm.
requires professional know-how.
Mm-hmm.
You see, now this one it depends with someone. If there are people who are comfortable doing it themselves, there are people who might require an attorney to do it. So in most cases, the attorneys also they have knowledge like us on how to build a petition, because these attorneys build petitions all the time. But this is a professional work which doesn't have a specific plan or process to follow, but it needs to be done in a professional way.
Correct.
Like for me, I did it after doing it myself and after doing it for a couple of people. It's not something which you can just wake up and put in documents and you submit.
Exactly. It takes a process. So what would be I know you probably can't say cost because cost depends on the person.
Yeah.
But what would be a typical time frame for this, so people understand that it doesn't just happen overnight? Like you mentioned, it takes time because you have to put the right story together, the right information, make sure it aligns with what you're providing for the EB-1 or EB-2. So what would that be what is the longest time frame that you've seen?
Okay, this one will depend. First of all, what matters is we need, first of all, to be able to study and understand your profession.
Mm-hmm.
Which category do you qualify for? Is it EB-1A or EB-2? That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the evaluation process. And once we determine from that, now there are so many things which we need to gather from it. Gathering the evidence, and after gathering those documents, sometimes there's some recommendation letters which needs to be written, especially for EB-2 NIW, and also even EB-1. There are some recommendation letters which needs to be built. These are technical recommendation letters from people who have worked with you or from experts in your field to be vouching for your expertise. So what is there here is, now during that time, remember, this is a process which the petitioner is owned by the petitioner. Mm-hmm. So the faster the petitioner provides this information, the faster the process it will go.
Now the other question, before I forget it, before you keep on, sorry about that, to cut you off there. But the other situation is, if their documentation is not in English, they need to make sure it's professionally translated, correct?
Yes. Yes, it needs to be professionally translated. That's how it needs to be done, because they're supposed to be in English. Now, once the documentations have been provided, then now once we build all the information, then the process of writing starts. And then the other part is, we might have petitioners or clients who might, they might not be having other requirements. So we also give them time to be able to build their evidence over time and be able to submit so that that process can continue.
Mhm.
The other part of timing is how does it take now to how does it take after you submit. Once you submit, now it is at the discretion of you SCIS
Yeah.
to be able to
It's now in the hands of the US.
now in the hands of the US.
Basically. But
Yeah.
the process of making sure you have your documentation, that you're like, if it's not in English, you need to translate it. That can take anywhere from what, maybe a year, 6 months, depending on the person, right?
Yeah, depending on the person, because now you as the petitioner, you need to make sure that you get people who can, services of someone who can translate this information. And I guess this translating this information is not hard. Yeah, so it can, depending on the people you engage and how fast you want these documents to be translated, it does not take that much time, so long as they are experts in the field.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the other thing that I have, and we only have a few minutes left. So I want everybody to kind of like know where to find you, where to get more information from you. So this was just a brief talk, just on some brief information, just briefly, talking about, the eligibility. I can't even say it. Eligibility requirements.
Yes.
Supporting evidence, and some mini steps. But if you want to reach out to Dr. Paul, I want you to talk about how they can reach you. I know I put it in the comments, but I want you to let them know as well. And also give us something that you want to take away, something that you want them to remember about this process, or a quote or something, because it's really important for, when people are navigating the U.S. immigration system, professionals, researchers, entrepreneurs seeking for permanent residency, or, to bring their expertise to this country, which we all know we need. What is something that you can leave with them regarding that?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very great question. One thing is, and I'm talking to those who are professionals in their field, who are here legally here in the United States, because this process, you cannot undertake this process if you are out of status in the United States. So if you are in status, what I can tell you, and you have an advanced degree, or you are an entrepreneur who has an advanced degree, and you have experience, even if you have an undergrad or a bachelor's, but you have tremendous experience of even over 10 years, this is the opportunity for you to undertake this process. And as we speak now, there are people who have undertaken this process and they are getting approved, even during this tough moment in the United States, in form of immigration, as the government is trying to reinforce the immigration processes. There are people like me, like you, who are getting approved every day. So what is important is come out here and seek help on if you qualify, and if really you qualify, then undertake this process. Once
it's worth it, right?
It's worth it, so long as you qualify. But first of all, is come out and request to know if you qualify, and if you qualify, give it a shot. I did it myself. I came here as an F1 student. I came here as a student, and I did it. And the process took, like, from writing my petition to approval, it took like around 2 years.
Yeah.
And the process was done.
But it takes some time. It takes a little bit of money.
Yes.
But you don't have to break the bank to do it, but it does take time. It does, but there's an opportunity to do it. So thank you so much, Dr. Paul, for being here today. We will have his information here in the chat, but you can always reach out to Valentin Consulting, info@valentin.com, if you want to learn more or reach out to Dr. Paul in any way. But we are so excited that we are going to continue to have different speakers, different professionals here with us every week. And stay tuned that I am also hosting hosting a Learn Your Basics series coming up soon that's going to be live here on YouTube, that we are going to bring some wonderful information that's going to help entrepreneurs, small business owners, and more for everything that they are looking for in their small business. As you continue, if you are someone that wants to be here on our YouTube guest speaker series, please like, subscribe, and reach out to us. We're more than welcome to have you. But thank you so much for being here today with us. I'm Dr. Valentine with your guest speaker series here on Valentine Consulting's YouTube channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.